Hello everybody, and a very warm welcome to the latest episode of Hidden Jewels of Soul and Disco. This is a kind of request episode because some of you got in touch with me and asked me about blaxploitation soundtracks. Of course, there are the well-known like Shaft, Superfly, Black Caesar, Trouble Man, just to name a few. But there are also some soundtracks, and this week I'm going to talk about especially one, which were quite successful back in the day, but today hardly anybody talks about them. So therefore this week we'll be featuring Edwin Starr's soundtrack to Hell Up in Harlem. Hell Up in Harlem proved to be an instant success, movie-wise and also soundtrack-wise. It was 1973 and blaxploitation movies were starting to get at their peak. Like Blackula, Coffee, Foxy Brown, just to name a few. Oh, I love these movies. And there are so many soundtracks out there who are not so widely known, and they are just killer. So if you have the time, check out some websites where they show blaxploitation movies. Check out the music. There are so many of them who are not so widely known and where you can get the music still to a very decent price. Anyway, Hell Up in Harlem was widely released all over Europe, all over the US, and like I said, it was an instant success. Some countries even released music cassettes out of this soundtrack because it was so successful. What I find always great on soundtrack recordings is if there are also very good standalone records. And this is absolutely the case with Hell Up in Harlem. You can listen to this as a standalone album or as a soundtrack album, and it works perfectly well.
Found yourself above. Now you're flying right. The past is out of sight. Jennifer.
Yeah, this is the front of it, and I must say it's one of the coolest covers ever. Seriously, isn't he looking badass? I love this cover so much. I might put that up and make a poster out of it because it's just so cool, and it has the 70s vibes. It's just awesome. I love the cover. On the back, you see some snippets from the studios. I don't know if they are staged. I have no idea, but anyway, I always enjoy if you have some insights of the studio. Here is the record. What you've seen is the German pressing, the 1974 German pressing. The whole album, the whole soundtrack was released in January of 1974. And I show it to you. This is side 1. As you can see, this is pristine, looking like... I think it has only been played by me, and I play this record very often. I love this album very much. This is side 2 on the Tumblr Motown label. And... price-wise, I paid about 8 years ago, because I kept the price sticker. About 8 years ago, I paid 16 euros for it. If you want a German pressing, nowadays the price are between 20 to 30 euro, also of course depending on the condition of the record. What I want to point out, and I've only seen that on German covers so far, if you have information that it happened also in other countries, please let me know. The paper they used is super thin. This is wobbling. This is very thin, not very good quality. The printing quality is good, but it's very, very thin paper. And I've only seen that on German pressing, so I don't know about other countries. Anyway, finding a German pressing in a very good condition, this is not very good to me, is very difficult because of the thin paper, and this was a party record. You brought this to a party and club, whatever. So the covers I've seen so far were pretty much beaten up. There's a mint copy, I think actually at the moment are 2 mint copies available on Discogs for around $50 to $60. Maybe you find it somewhere cheaper on a Whatnot auction or on eBay. You know, get this album. You won't be, I promise you, you won't be disappointed of the soundtrack recording. It's great. It's not, there's not, Hell Up in Harlem, the title track, is not so comparable with Shaft or Superfly or Trouble Man. It hasn't this reminiscence to it that you hear the first beats and you know actually what it is, but it's still a great soundtrack recording, which I always recommend. And I think it's kind of sad that this album is nowadays not so known as the big blockbusters of the blaxploitation scene. Anyway, this is it for my short video this week. I'm awaiting some new records, then I will be another Vinyl Finds plus the Shrink Must Go video, because there are some records where the Shrink absolutely must go, and they are 40 to 50 years old, and I can't wait to play them. So stay tuned for this. Otherwise, guys, I'm wishing you all a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy, listen to good music, maybe Hell Up in Harlem, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Fred Williamson, he may never get to heaven, but he's raising hell up in Harlem.
Even hell!